2014. Since there was no meat on the bone, to fill the deep hole in public finances, government resorted to some tough fiscal measures, notably the increase in the tax burden on every conceivable consumer item and production activities. In addition to hiring freezes, there were cuts to a number of areas of spending, most notably cuts to research allowances for lecturers, nursing training allowances, teacher training allowances. By the end of 2016, the fundamentals of the economy were generally weak. Real GDP growth declined from 9.1% in 2008 and to 3.4% in 2016. Growth in agriculture was declining, growth in industry was declining. The public debt, which stood at 32% of GDP in 2008, had reached 70.2% of GDP by 2014. And at that point, Ghana became classified as a country at high risk of debt distress. A country at high risk of debt distress. And we are still trying to get ourselves out of this classification. Interest rates were high, and the banking system was weak. With rising unemployment, Unemployed Graduates Association became the new enviable club in town. When you look at the data, ladies and gentlemen, the overall performance of the previous government on the macroeconomic indicators, when you look at them, you will notice distinctly a different performance between 2009 and the 2011 period, and then the 2012 to the 2016 period. The 2012 to the 2016 period was much, much worse, even though the external environment was favorable. So what have we done in the past 2 years? Following the overwhelming mandate to change the trajectory and the fortunes of the economy, the President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo set down his markers for change. The overarching objective is to build a modern, prosperous, and private sector-driven economy anchored on a vision of Ghana beyond aid. The overarching objective will be broken down into a number of sub-objectives, and I will address this particular town hall following these sub-objectives. The pursuit of stable macroeconomy, pursuing inclusive transformation to help the poor and the vulnerable in our society and ensure social equity, pursuing the formalization of the economy by leveraging technology for digitization, enhancing the ease of doing business to remove bottlenecks that impeded the private sector development, reforming and enhancing the competitiveness of our ports. And this is where I will talk about port reform and announce some measures that the cabinet has taken. And transforming the structure of the economy through diversification, technological innovation, and greater value addition in our production processes. All these are to be supported by building a sound banking system, strengthened infrastructural investment, and good governance, especially in fighting corruption. Let me share with you our progress on these fronts. On macroeconomic stability, a major flagship program of the government is the restoration of macroeconomic stability on a sustainable basis as an anchor for economic growth and enhanced private sector progress. The pillars. The ability of the economy to produce goods and services measured by real GDP growth is increasing. Growth for 2017 was 8.1%, one of the highest in the world that year, significantly exceeding the average sub-Saharan African growth of 2.7%, as the figure 1 will show. You would see that from 2017, Ghana's growth in 2018, Ghana's growth has exceeded the sub-Saharan African growth. GDP growth remained robust in 2018, almost double the average in sub-Saharan Africa. But what is also important is that non-oil growth, as you would see in the second figure, non-oil growth has increased from 4.6% to 5.8%. And this strong growth performance has resulted in an increase in per capita income, which today is at 9,864 Ghana cedis, which is 30% higher than in 2016. Our challenge, ladies and gentlemen, is to make the distribution fair, especially to the benefit of the weak, disadvantaged, and vulnerable in society. This is the ultimate goal of our inclusive transformation. The recent